our next guest is with Black Odyssey Media, and we have their authors on the show on a regular basis. Normally, we try to have them on close to their book release date. And so Mark's book, Discipline, came out last Tuesday. So we're close to the release date. So we want to welcome Mark to Black Authors Matter TV. And if you can unmute, I'm going to ask you to unmute so we can hear you.
How you guys doing?
Doing great. Now, I see your book is your backdrop.
Yeah, I had
It's
to
a
do it.
giant size rendering of your book cover. Now, Discipline, is it what people might think it is? Like when discipline comes to mind, I think about it could be like a gang or like a crime family and what happens to people who get out of line. But
Gwen's over here writing her own story.
Oh well, no, I'm just wondering what is the name, the one word title. Is it what the book is about?
So I just had a book signing in Rehoboth, Delaware, and somebody walked in and was like, "Are they a gang?" And I was like, "No, he's just one person." And the significance of discipline is his nickname, and then you figure out as the story goes along how he got the nickname and why his name is discipline. But he does deal with people that get out of line, so you were accurate on that.
Okay. Okay. So, do you have the book with you, like so we can see the whole cover? Like,
Oh,
do you have a copy of your book that you can put up in front of the camera?
can you see it? I don't know if you can.
Okay, put it close to you. Normally, that's what allows us to see it, and then raise it up a little bit. Well, in front of your face.
Oh, like
But
that.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
So now, is this your first book? I'm going to ask you three questions. Is this your first book? Is this your first book with Black Odyssey Media? And is this the first book along these lines, or is it part of a series? Tell us about the book.
So this will be my fourth book. I wrote two books. I used to have a publishing company, and I wrote two books through myself or through the company.
Okay.
Then the second or my third book, I released that through Urban Books a few years ago. And then the fourth book would be my first book with Black Odyssey Media. And the plan is to have it be a series of interconnected stories, meaning that you could pick up any one of the stories and know where you are in the universe.
Okay. Interesting. So, do you have a particular genre that you like to write in?
So I guess I would say I wrote in three different genres. They would classify the first two as urban fiction. Then the
Okay.
last one I wrote was young adult or new adult. And then this one is just straight crime fiction, which is my favorite. I like anything that has to do with crime. That sounds terrible, but
And that
crime
sounds
fiction,
terrible, Mark.
like I just like all crime. Crime is my thing, but 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 crime fiction. The entire time I was writing those other books, I wanted to write crime fiction, and for some reason, I just thought maybe I couldn't stand next to the people that wrote it for some odd reason. But I love crime fiction. That's what I want to continue to
I
write.
can imagine why you're attracted to that genre because when you look at the so-called criminals, the ones that you're writing about, they're very complicated characters. You
Yeah,
you almost find yourself rooting for them, even though they're committing crimes. And like for instance, Eric Jerome Dickey's Gideon series. I always call it the Gideon series, but that man was heartless. That character was heartless. He would kill you without thinking about it. But I still found myself rooting for him because as much as a heartless killer he was, he had a heart of gold when it came to the people that he cared about. So that's what really makes these characters complicated. So I can imagine, I don't know if that's the reason why you enjoy crime fiction. Is it because of the characters that you're able to create, or because you just have a little wicked imagination?
I probably would say it's a combination of both. And
Okay.
it's funny that you bring him up because he's always a titan to me.
Mm.
He was probably the first author. He made me feel like, not made me feel like, he let me know it was possible for us to be in hardcover because every time I saw him, he was just on the back of the book. I said, you got to be an ill dude, no synopsis. You got to open the book to read the synopsis. He's just on the back of the book. That's how big of an author he was.
Mm.
So I had heard of the Gideon series a long time ago. And as I got in the mood to write this, I read, he had like an assassin book. The title's escaping me, but I read that book and I was like, wow, that lady's cold blooded. And I kind of wanted to be in those modes of maybe like the psychological part of the characters. And you are right. I do like that we all do stuff for a reason. And it's not just, oh, he does all these terrible things for no reason. I just wanted to get into like the psychology of why they do that.
Crime fiction seems to be growing among Black authors. Um, I feel like we weren't really seeing a lot of it until the last 5 years or so. We started seeing more of it. That's not well. I was gonna say that's not a genre I read, but I take that back because I have read books in that
Well,
genre
I would
before.
also venture to say, I think, and Mark, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a little bit of a difference between street fiction, or what some people call gangster fiction, and crime fiction.
Yes,
Uh,
it
there,
Yeah.
is.
there is,
Mhm.
there is
Yes, it's two
a,
different genres. Mhm. Yeah, crime fiction is more from what I gather. It's more like detectives, and sometimes they'll be chasing a criminal, uh, like that. Whereas, street fiction or urban fiction is more about the criminals themselves. And a lot of times it's drug related or weapons related, from what I gather.
No, that's how they would classify it. I think with crime fiction, at least for me, it was about not only the psychological depth of the main character, but also the police chasing him.
Yeah.
And I wanted my own Martin and Will, but in Philadelphia, as far as like Bad Boys. And I just wanted like two cool detectives to chase the most horrible human being that they could in Philadelphia. And that's kind of how I formatted the story. Like I already knew the ending. I just had to get them to that point.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of writers say they know the ending, and they know the beginning and they know the ending, and it's the part in the middle that they have to come up with for the story.
Yeah, that middle part is was a doozy. Yeah.
That's where all the words are. you
All
know,
the words, a lot of
that's where
middle
it
was
counts.
trying to get it together. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Mark, what would you like people to know about you as a writer? Like, what motivates you as a writer? When did you get started with writing? And what would you say about your writing journey, and like how you got from the first book to this one?
It's been a long, arduous journey. I'm not gonna lie. So when I first started many moons ago, I had this idea to start a publishing company. I just wanted to help people, publish their books and stuff. And I started the company and I think I published, I want to say 10 books. So I had my first two that they would classify as urban fiction. And then I got it in my head again. I'm always with these ideas to get like traditionally published. And a quick funny story. When I first moved to Delaware, I picked up a book at Amazon off the shelf. I was shelving the books, and it was called "If I Ruled the World," and it had a blurb on there by Erica Badu. And I was like, how did that author get a blurb for Erica Badu? That author's name was Joy, right? So I'm querying, and I send her a query. She told me it wasn't ready yet. And I was like, you know what? This lady knows what she's talking about. I'm gonna listen to her. I query, nothing's happening, right? I start writing the new book. I say, you know what? I'm gonna try it again. Let's try to query again. I'm going through the process, nothing is happening. I say, you know what? I did it before, I can self-publish again. My first on my tour that I'm on now, the first stop was at the bookstore where the owner told me just try one more time, one more query. I said, I don't want to do it. I'm done with this book. I'm gonna light it on fire. She said, one more time. No one's reading it. I sent Joy another email and she responded back. And she has been my agent since that day. She closed that deal and then she closed the deal for this book. And this book only exists because I was frustrated with the last book. And Discipline probably took on and off, starting, stopping, maybe over 10 years. So it's a little bit, it holds a like a special place in my heart because I didn't think it would ever see print. And it wasn't even called Discipline. Before 2 titles ago, it was called Keystone State of Mind, right? But then that's too regional, right? Because you would have to be from Pennsylvania. Then it was A Recipe for Survival. I thought it was okay, but then I got the contract and it said title to be determined. So I guess it wasn't going to be that title. Then I said, he is the book. And what he disciplined, I'm sorry. So he took over the book like Steve Urkel took over Family Matters. He was going to be like, he was going to be like a one-off.
I said what you did there.
he was going to be like a side character. And then I don't know what happened, he became more interesting. And then as I became more frustrated with querying, I gave him more trauma and more killings. And so he became a fully formed monster. And then that's the middle that I didn't have. And then that's how the book came about. And then we said, maybe we should just go with his nickname, because as soon as you see that, you're like, what does that mean? And then when you flip it on the back and read the synopsis, you're going to know what it means. And then that's how it came about. So it's been a very long journey to get to this point.
So it sounds like, but you know that writing is your path.
Yes. Every facet of writing.
When did you realize that?
Probably one of my teachers, Miss Turner, who I have to send her a book. I told her that today. In her creative writing class, like soon as I had to create my own fake city, I was like, okay, I think I really like creating stuff from scratch. But what really solidified it was in 1995. It was a very small movie. You might not have heard of it. It was called Bad Boys, and it was starring these very little known actors, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. And when Will ran down the street, Miami, and I said, okay, I need 2 detectives like them, but in Philadelphia. And from that point, I always had it in my head, suppressed it until I was like, okay, I'm ready to do this now. And then I was like, let's go. And then I started writing it.
So it sounds like Bad Boys made a strong impression on you. So have you seen them all of the Bad Boys movies?
No, only like 98 times. It's a very small amount of.
Sounds like you didn't really like the story or the movie that much, because it would have been 100 if you did.
I would agree. Very mildly entertaining. I would have the classics.
I did hear you mention earlier when you said you wanted that Will and Martin in your books. I heard you mention that earlier in the interview. So I could tell that movie did have an impression on your storytelling, and basically your imagination. It really captured that.
Yeah, that, you know what else? New York Undercover.
Yeah.
And not only, so I went to military school, so staying up was worth getting in trouble for. And I will only try to stay up to get in trouble for two things. One was NBA on TNT, and then the other one was New York Undercover. Just I would sneak downstairs, watch it because our bedtime was 9 o'clock at that time. It came on at 9 o'clock.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So the cool, what I found to be cool about them was they called it like hip hop cops, and they wore like clothes that I wanted to wear, and then JC looked like me, and they were both people of color. And I was like, the one steadfast thing I wanted to do when I created it, I was like, I want two people of color. Like I like they have to be two black men, and I want to give them problems, and they have to talk about how they feel, and they are scared and stuff that you normally wouldn't talk about. They in their most private moments with such a high stress job, you get all that too that you may never hear. Maybe you didn't get that with Martin and Will's character, and I just wanted to kind of dig a little teeny bit deeper. But I was steadfast in making them. They had to be two people of color because that was important for me as far as representation. So
Yeah, Bad Boys had, you know, a lot of comedic moments too.
yeah,
It wasn't just them being cops.
Well,
I
life has
think,
levity.
hmm.
So life has levity. Even
Oh
in
yes.
moments, you're gonna find something to chuckle about.
Yeah, but since they're
yeah,
both comedians, you know, the actors, they,
yeah.
they really did a good job of balancing that, the
They really
action
did.
with the comedy. Mhm. They
They did.
did.
They really did.
Yeah, that's interesting that you talked about one of your characters to be black men, and you know, with layers, more not just one or two dimensional, but multidimensional like human beings are.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I think we are we multifaceted. You
yeah.
know, like when I'm at my when I'm at my job, people when they find out that I wrote a book, it's and they can't help it. You know, like you know how your face, they're like, you you wrote a book? Like I can't count to 10. Like I can walk and I can chew bubble gum at the same time. But it's just sometimes I don't know, maybe people are caught off guard or that I love to read too. I get sometimes people are like surprised that, I like reading more than I like watching TV, and I love watching TV. But I but I like reading more, so people have depth. You don't until you get to know them, and then you know those things. But sometimes people don't exactly reveal certain stuff, or maybe they don't even feel comfortable revealing certain stuff. So that gave me the latitude to like say certain stuff maybe I wanted to say through a fictional character that people can relate to on some level. So, or at least I would hope they would.
Yeah. Who was in New York Undercover? I never saw that show.
Um,
Malik
no,
Yoba, I can't
yes,
remember the Hispanic guy's name.
Okay,
I'm looking
now
right at him in
okay,
my mind.
okay,
Michael De Lorenzo.
Thank you.
okay. Um, how many seasons was it? Do you know? Like, was it a lot of seasons or just like a couple of seasons?
Now, Wikipedia will tell you that there were 4 seasons. I'm telling you that there were three.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
that
So is
fourth
that
season.
because the fourth season wasn't any good,
Oh,
or
it was bad. Oh, it was bad. I
okay?
don't acknowledge the last season of Martin.
I hate it
I don't
when they
acknowledge it.
ruin a show by going too long, going one or two seasons when they should have
You
just quit while they were ahead. I hate
you
that.
can't you can't have Martin and Gina not speak to each other. They're the linchpin of the show.
Yeah,
They're like in
was
different
really
rooms.
it was really weird because they really in life weren't speaking to each other, so they were not
Yeah,
they couldn't film together. So he would run into a room right as she left.
You're like, they miss each other by just a few seconds, and I'm like, really? Oh my gosh, that season is so annoying because it's such a great show, and I just hate that they had the problem because it just ruined the great show.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I saw Martin in I didn't see the like beginning to end season. I would see an episode here, episode there. So, and the ones that I liked the most that made me just like fall over laughing were, of course, Shanae when he played that, and when he played his mother, when his mother would be like, it's the one where she's in the church and she was doing flips and all that. I put it up on YouTube. It's so hilarious. But I didn't watch it like beginning to end. I just watched it occasionally. Um, it was good, but I don't watch comedies that much. I like
What's your
drama.
thing? Oh, okay, drama.
I like
Okay.
dramas. I like
Okay.
espionage, action. I actually like shows that men like. I mean, the demographic for the show is strongly male.
Oh, so you were like FBI or
Yeah.
SVU?
Yes.
There we go. I like that.
Yeah.
Like the energy.
Yes.
Yes.
Lately, let's see what the late. Well, if it has to be good though. Some it has to have heart.
Yeah,
And
that's very
so,
important.
and I like medical and legal shows. So I just finished watching, like right now, and I've seen this show at least 7 or 8 times. I binged it. It's 24. I think that's one of the best done shows. And Kiefer Sutherland, there it's Jack, and nobody else could have been Jack. I really
I
like this show.
That's one of those shows you hear about so often, and I don't know how I've never watched an episode of this show, but I'm sure because I have addictive personality. So if I watch one, like if we get done this interview and then I go watch 24, I may email you like, so you told me to watch 24 and now it is my life
Yeah,
because
watch
you
it,
told me.
watch it.
It's
Because
see,
it's not just Kiefer Sutherland, it's Dennis Haysbert as the president. He's an amazing, he does an amazing job. And the woman who I can't remember her name, her acting name, but the woman who plays his wife,
Keith or
uh,
something.
no, that plays Dennis Haysbert's wife.
Okay.
She is really good as well, even though she plays like a character that you really like. You can't believe the stuff that she does. She just really is off the rails, but she's great being off the rails. She's just really good. It's a really good show. And
I'm
like
on
I
it.
said, I'm binging it right now for the 7th or 8th time, and it was pretty good. The last season they could have kept it, like you said. They could have kept it. I'll watch it. I'm on season 7. So it
Okay.
was 8 seasons. They could have kept that last one, but I am going to watch it. It's just really great TV.
I
Um,
like that.
so now have you ever thought about, and most authors do, think about your book on the big screen, like if you had to cast your book for a TV series or a movie, who would you think of that would be disciplined? Who would play the role of
So
this?
so I think about it every day.
Okay. I
Along
was
with ice
reading
cold.
your mind.
Every single day. It doesn't help when people say it reads like it's cinematic when they read it or they could picture it being a movie because that just makes you want to get it into like a 6 to 8 episode arc. That's all. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking for 6 episodes. The funny part about it is I have no idea who would play this one. But for the two detectives, I would probably have, M'Baku from Black Panther.
Yes.
Yes.
Him, and I'm sure both of you know Aaron Pierre, the
Hmm.
dude from
What is him
Rebel
on?
Ridge.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Which
Them
that
two.
was a pretty good movie. See, that I like that. That was
That's good.
it was pretty good.
So them two, and then I wanted if I had to like let's say I had to pitch it to somebody, it would be the people behind Bosch, which is a
I've
cop
seen
show on
Bosch.
Amazon Prime.
I told you I've seen if it's made for a man, I've seen it.
I watched. See, I knew I liked you. I watched this show. I just watched it for the sixth time. All
Okay.
eight, all no, it's all 10 seasons. I
Oh,
just go right
okay.
through it.
The Bosch
Yep.
was good. Bosch was a good show.
If I could, the producer's name is Eric Overmeyer. If I could just get on Eric's radar, just take a look, and then, but yeah, I think about that every day.
Mhm. Now, in your two detectives that you said, the two actors, I feel like they are too big to be together. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't mean physically. I mean
Oh,
their
you mean like,
personalities.
yeah,
Normally, when you have two cops, one of them is more dominant
then the other one,
than the other one.
yeah, that that's where their clash is though. One of
Yeah,
it's so
that's what
funny.
I'm saying. It would be a clash.
Yeah, yeah, it's a clash because
Okay.
one of them is old, one's older than the other one, and then
Okay.
obviously longer tenured than the other one. So then they're both alpha males.
Hmm.
So they got to let go of their egos for the betterment of the case, and that was a very fun part to like have them dislike each other. But what's cool about the editing process is the editor will challenge you in a good way because you might think you wrote something like, yeah, I wrote that scene. It was great. And they'll be like, why don't they like each other? And I was like, well, because they don't like each other. People don't like each other for a myriad of reasons. Why would you come to me and ask me why would they not like each other? But I had to really go back and say, okay, he did this to okay, and this is all right. We had to go back to the drawing board and had a legitimate reason why they didn't like each other. And then when they come together, it makes it more fulfilling because it's like in service of a common disdain for that guy. And it makes it more enjoyable when you go through everybody's art because it's told from all three of their perspectives. So you're inside of their
Right.
head every time you are reading whichever chapter you're on. So,
Okay.
which I think helps for development's sake because you can clearly see who this person is. So,
Certainly have a writer's mind. I mean, I feel
Hmm.
like you're telling stories in your mind even when you don't have to.
it's you know, I yeah.
I'm not mad at it. I love that.
Yeah, that's good.
My mind is working. Is always it's always working. I think that's why I can't sleep sometimes because I'm always thinking of like, did I mark it enough today? I only said something once. Maybe I should say something again. But that's how my mind is.
Well, congratulations on your book and continued success with your writing career.
Yes.
And a
Thank you.
couple of shows, if you're looking for some like action, no action, if you haven't seen these, on Netflix, there's Night Agent. I don't know if you've seen that. It's 2 seasons, really good show. And I'm not sure which platforms these are on. I think I saw them on MGM or one of them. Anyway, Paramount. But Deep State and Condor, Condor. They're both
Okay.
2 seasons. Those they only been 2 seasons for all three of those shows. Really, really good.
So now I already have a binging
Okay.
problem where you're gonna have me um out.
Really, really good.
So I'll tell you an exclusive thing, right? So I'm trying to figure out uh I see these like PR boxes and I was like, I want PR box. I mean, I know I ain't write a fantasy novel or nothing, but I should be able to do this. So I today I got some uh car fresheners. You put
Okay.
on your little window, look on the
Hmm.
front, and they're going right into the PR boxes. You're not gonna leave me out the PR box game. I'm gonna have some more stuff in there too. I don't know, but some other goodies, but I'm always trying to think of something, a little different.
Creative.
So
Yeah, you
yeah,
have to get people to think, remember you. And
Yeah.
there's lots of writers out there. Well, we're at the end of our time, Mark, and we're excited about your career. And we love having Black Odyssey Media authors on to help give them some promo for their books and just continue success with what you're doing.
thank you both. I had a wonderful time. I really appreciate you guys for having me.
And we
Okay.
appreciate you being here. Best wishes to you and all that you do.
Thank you.